Hey everyone, tonight I'm going to be discussing the article called Leadership Questions, Leadership, Effort, and Administrative Evil by George E. Reed, who heads the Department of Leadership Studies at the University of San Diego. Not San Diego, that's my bad. In this article, some of the important definitions that he discusses are administrative evil itself, which means when well-intentioned individuals participate in systems that harm innocent people. This is based on recognizing a phenomenon, not creating principles for moral reasoning. So it's not like a moral compass, it's just describing something that is happening. It most often occurs when there are some narrowly defined rules, like excessive compartmentalization and a lack of moral sensitivity. And typically, private industry is more susceptible to administrative evil than public industry is. Another term used is technical rationality, which is essentially this division of labor, the extensive role specialization and compartmentalization that is often used in large and complex organizations and is often the case in these administrative evil circumstances. Evil is typically considered unjustified harm or destruction of innocent human beings. To label an action as evil requires people to evaluate and judge that action to be inherently bad. Wrong exists on a spectrum, and somewhere on that spectrum, wrong becomes evil. Nearly no one would admit to assisting in mass murder, but nearly everyone admits to white lies. So white lie would be something considered on that wrong scale, whereas mass murder probably on that evil scale. I hate that this light is here, so I'm going to move. Masking is when a negative impact of an action is not fully known to most people. So in those instances where there is this term of technical rationality, it could be the case that not everyone in the organization fully understands what they are engaging with and how they are negatively impacting people. Unmasking would be when harmful effects of an action become widely known as evil. And a peripheral player is someone participating in a harmful action without fully realizing how evil the outcome is. So that would be somebody who's in one of those really technical specified roles and doesn't fully understand what the organization as a whole is doing. A main example of administrative evil would be the Holocaust. There were a lot of people complicit and involved in this mass murder. Genocide requires a lot of actors, and some of them fully understand the end result, while some of them are fulfilling small duties, that technical specialization, without fully processing the mass destruction that they are participating in. We also see examples in the systematic abuse of detainees at Abu Ghraib Central Prison and in contemporary business failures such as Enron, Arthur Andersen, Tyco, and WorldCom. In the case of Enron, thousands of employees were complicit in financial corruption on Wall Street. It's a pretty complicated thing, so probably not even everyone on the staff would be able to explain exactly what financial corruption on Wall Street would consist of. So they were helping somebody else do something wrong without fully understanding their role in that and what the person who had the power here was trying to do. And we also see some examples in the Challenger disaster, Operation Paperclip, and the government's response to Hurricane Katrina. The best way to combat administrative evil would be to make sure that you have courageous and morality-oriented followers or employees at your organization. Those are super important for keeping leaders in check. I'd say smart, educated people as well, or people who know like they should be being involved in their organization, making sure that they understand the goals and the larger picture of their organization and how to be reaching out if they see anything that they might consider an administrative evil. Public administrators constantly need to work to unmask administrative evils. Remember, unmasking is basically bringing any conflicts to light. People in leadership roles might have the best view to combat administrative evil because they have some of those larger picture views that not everyone has. But everyone should be aware of this concept and everyone should be looking out for it. Everybody is a collaborator in a leadership role. Even if you don't have a leadership title, you are a leader in your organization. You have opportunities to voice what you believe should happen, what you see within the organization, your insights. And it's your job, even if you're not a leader, to call out something like administrative evil if you ever see it occurring in your workplace. Leadership development and training can also help a lot of employees look out for and put an end to wrongdoing. So if you're truly an organization that believes that they do not want to engage with this administrative evil, making sure that you're hiring good, sound, honest people, but then also making sure they're informed about this concept of administrative evil and have some basic knowledge of what to look out for will be extremely important. Now, we also had an article last week about specialization and how people across different platforms should work together to solve issues. So kind of connecting that to this, it's really important to consider multiple perspectives whenever drawing a conclusion. For example, you have so many people with specific specializations. If people from 5 different departments came together and said, I noticed this small thing, this small thing, this small thing, they're all different small things. But then when they get together as a group, they have such different roles and they're like, all of us together with these small things that we feel like are a little bit off or not adding up might be pointing us towards administrative evil within our department or our organization. So it's really important for employees to have opportunities to connect with one another, to collaborate with one another, to get to know one another, so that we're always considering multiple perspectives within the organization of people with diverse backgrounds and knowledge and skill sets. It's also really important to recognize that complex organizational structures and technical rationality has the potential to harm people. It's very important in a large organization that all employees, all members of that organization have a really sound understanding of what that organization's goals are and how they are achieving those goals. Groupthink would be everybody kind of being brainwashed or not being given all the information and being led as a whole group, as a whole pack, to believe in one reality that might not align with what is actually happening. So we need to avoid this groupthink perspective in order to combat administrative evil. It's also important to determine when organizations are particularly susceptible to administrative evil. So again, this is when there's a lot of specialization that might make it difficult for everyone to understand exactly what the organization does and how all the parts are being pieced together to achieve a common goal. It's also important to research to determine when individuals are more or less likely to participate in administrative evil. If the country or the society is going through a traumatic time period during a time of war, perhaps, or recovering from war, that might be a time when people are less likely to pay attention to these types of overarching concepts within their workplace. It might be more susceptible to it, for instance. But there certainly needs to be more research on that topic, and that is why it is brought up at the end here as a recommendation. Thank you all for listening today. I guess that was a quick one, but we'll talk to you next time.